Welcome back to the Two Fish Podcast. My name is Nick.
I'm Aaron.
And this week, we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving on the Two Fish Podcast.
Gobble, 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 gobble. Oh, that's right. It's nap time. Happy Thanksgiving. That's the best part about Thanksgiving. It's the afternoon nap.
Sleeping?
Sleeping.
I don't know if I do that.
What?
I'm sure I have. I've eaten way too
How
much.
do you not sleep after you eat all that?
I do get tired. You're right. I probably have. Yep. I don't know. We always... Welcome to Fish Podcast. Aaron and I are just going on tangents here, but we're just going to talk about Thanksgiving. This episode will come out the week of Thanksgiving. You're hearing this. Hopefully, you're taking time to spend time with family, with friends, or however you celebrate. And for us, growing up, that was always at my grandma's house. That was always with Grandma and Grandpa. We ate way too much. Up until just recently, as of a couple of years ago, I thought Grandma would never let any of us bring anything. I thought she made everything. And she would. Like, we had a feast.
Yeah. Blessed
Beyond belief of how much food we had. And she made it all. She wouldn't let anyone bring anything. It was her holiday. And up until recently, someone, I won't say who it was, decided to inform me, no, your grandma buys a lot of it from a local. She catered a bunch of it. And I had no idea.
That's awesome.
And so I've told this person who's very close to me, you have ruined Thanksgiving for me. Yeah, she catered. There's a local place that will do the whole spread if you want. And she got a lot of it from there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, except my childhood was all a lie.
She had all you kids. I slaved over this
Yeah,
meal for you.
We thought that's how it was.
Sure did. Oh. She whipped out that credit card.
Yep.
Checkbook. She probably wrote a check.
Yes, check. Yes, I doubt they had credit cards. So yeah, that's my Thanksgiving memory growing up. It'll look different now. Grandma passed away last year, so this year will be a little bit different, but it's still gonna be great. We're gonna still spend it with family and my cousins that we don't get to see very often. We're gonna spend it with them. So, what is your Thanksgiving tradition?
Our Thanksgiving tradition, it's changed. We used to try every other year to go down and see my brother, but that's changed. Mm-hmm. Just hasn't worked out the last few years. So we had been rotating with my wife's family on who hosts it. Mm-hmm. She comes from a little bit larger family, but we are privileged to be able to host it again. So
privileged.
Yeah.
That is the word you used or your wife used?
It's the word I'm going with. Privileged. No, we should be thankful that we can host it. We have a house that can fit everybody in it. And so, yeah, my parents will be coming over and her family. And
oh, both your families come to it.
Yeah. Well, my mom and dad, my brother.
Yeah.
Lives in another state.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
You're hosting Thanksgiving.
But yeah, we don't have any like traditional anything on Thanksgiving.
Food wise?
It's the typical turkey and ham.
Yeah.
And pumpkin pie.
Nice. There you go. That's all you need.
Gotta have pumpkin pie.
The Cowboys will play. They always play on Thanksgiving. We never watch the game, but it's always on.
Yeah, I don't watch. We don't have TV, so.
Oh, that's true.
Well, we don't have cable. Let's put that. We have a TV, but we started this long before it was a thing and didn't have.
Yeah.
We just streamed or played DVDs all day.
DVDs. That's an old technology now.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I guess I've never really thought about it. This is at least our third Thanksgiving episode.
That's crazy. 3 years?
I know. It is. I'm sure if we went back and looked at them, these kind of episodes are pretty similar. Probably. Because you're being thankful. But we do have an international group of people that listen to the show. And Aaron and I were talking. It's like, maybe we should explain Thanksgiving. I I'm sure there's different variations of Thanksgiving everywhere, but
Or like everywhere as in
in
other
the world,
countries?
yeah, in the world.
Yeah. I don't know. That would be, I didn't look up, do other countries celebrate Thanksgiving, or is it a U.S. exclusive? It's probably U.S. exclusive because we're that awesome that we have Thanksgiving. But anyway, it's a general belief that Thanksgiving is modeled after a 1621 harvest feast between the Pilgrims and an Indian tribe, which would have been like 100 years before America became America.
So the English came over, set up the colonies.
Yep. And then at some point they had a feast with Indians.
Yeah, the Indians came together with the Pilgrims, and they traded food, and they all brought food together. I'm sure that's where street corn came from. The Indians brought corn and maize and whatever, and we sat down with them, and we just celebrated and being thankful. I mean, the Pilgrims got here, the Indians found a new friend, and they celebrated what God had done. I mean, back then, God was very much more a part of every day than it is now here in America. Now, it shouldn't be with Christians, obviously, but they all got together and they celebrated, look what God has done.
Well, the Indians didn't believe in God.
You're right. Okay. And for the Pilgrims, it was very much, they got here, there was hard winter, they made it through. It was very much a thank God. We're thankful for what we have. We're thankful for where we're at.
Yeah, the early English, the people that would have came over here would have been accustomed to regularly celebrating Thanksgiving, which would have been days of prayer and thanking God for blessings and all of that. Later, we turned Thanksgiving into I don't even know why we really celebrate it outside of...
Well, a day off of school, a day off of work. Yeah. If you're lucky, you get the Friday off too.
And your family gets together.
But then you sin by eating way too much and being a glutton.
Oh, you're definitely... we're definitely gluttons.
No, it's definitely changed because we don't necessarily... And our family always goes around the table, and as I grew up, I hated this just because I felt like it was awkward. But we went around the table and said what we were thankful for. And you always wanted to go first so that you could say the most basic thing first, because I was never good at coming up with something. But it's a time to reflect and thank God for what you have in your life, whether it be family, friends, health, because not everyone has all those things.
Right. I think we've shared this before. You always did that, and we never do that around ours. But to sit and think of the things that you can be thankful for, even in the midst of struggles, right? There's a lot of people struggling right now. Like, to go buy the Thanksgiving meal this year is probably going to cost you $100 to $200 more with the way inflation is here in America. The rest of the world, I don't know what inflation looks like for them, but I imagine it's the same because it's through the roof here, right? Yeah. So I imagine Thanksgiving is going to look a little different for most tables in the U.S., or it's really going to stretch people's budget. But I think to be thankful that we can even do it.
Yeah.
And that's why earlier I said it's a privilege that we get to host it and that we're able to do that.
And even if it does look different.
Yeah.
Thankful that you're still able to get together with family.
Right.
And be thankful, even if there's not as much on the table this year.
Which is probably not a bad thing, as you pointed to. We'd be sinning by all...
Eat too much.
Eat too much.
I love, and obviously this is kind of on a history lesson here, but the Two Fish Podcast, we go to the Bible. And right, like you said, 1 Thessalonians, which we're going through. If you haven't been with us in our study of 1 Thessalonians, go back some episodes and listen to them. But 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, haven't gotten there yet, but verse 18, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. And I think, like you said, it may look different. The circumstances may not be as good in years past for some, but that doesn't mean we withhold our thanks. We need to be thankful for what we have and look at the joy in even the struggles. And at the end there it says, For this is the will of God, to be thankful in all circumstances. I think that's super challenging.
No, that's really challenging.
Because there's so many circumstances, even in our day-to-day minute dumb stuff, where there's zero reason, zero part of me wants to be thankful right now. Because I feel like, whatever it is, not being thankful. But it's the will. No matter what the table looks like this year, hopefully you're with family.
Yeah. And we recently had a sidebar conversation, and I think it fits into this. It's a day to hit pause and to spend with your family. And not to bring up COVID, but like during COVID, we had to hit that pause, and we spent more time with our families.
Yeah.
And I think this is an opportunity, once again, it's a holiday here in America, where you get some days that sometimes it can be stressful because you got to go from one house to the next. Sometimes there's multiple Thanksgiving dinners, right? But
Yeah.
hit that pause button on that anxiety and that anger. And I also think it's like the most traveled day, especially via car in America.
Yeah.
Like, just hit that pause button and think about it and be thankful that you're one, you're able to do it. Two, you're going to see your family. Both Nick and I have had a lot of deaths in our family. And I think like extended family has become really hard to get together with.
Yeah.
So if you're able to go to that Thanksgiving dinner with that extended family, just be grateful for that.
Yeah.
And that existence, and it just doesn't happen like it used to.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. For us, Christmas season is the one where we have to bounce from house to house to house, day to day to day. And you're right. It's frustrating. There's anxiety about it, especially if you got to bring food and a gift for whoever knows how many people. And for us, it's the Christmas, but yes, Thanksgiving. If you're going from house to house, that can be in some cases, maybe a bitter thing. I don't want to go here. I don't want to do this.
Right. I'm already full.
Yeah. And you're going into it not being thankful that, like you said, these people, some of these people you don't see but once a year, twice a year. Why go into it being frustrated?
Right.
That's good. I like that. And I think that can be a challenge for the rest of the year in each of these seasons coming up, whether it be Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, whatever it is. That's good. Another scripture we can go to, Psalms 9, 1 and 2. I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. I will recount all of your wonderful deeds. I will be glad and exalt you in it. I will sing your praise to him. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. He's not just thanking God for what he's got around him. He's thanking God for what God's done. And that's something we typically would think of and celebrate at Christmas. Thank you, Lord, or Easter. Thank you for being born, Lord, on Christmas. Thank you for dying on the cross at Easter. But all of the deeds in between there that he's done in our lives, we also need to be thankful for those, even little stuff.
No, we like to discount the little things in life, and sometimes those little things are the ones that hang us up too. We discount the good little things, and we overemphasize the bad little things sometimes. Yeah. And I think bringing in that thought of thankfulness to those situations can help with that. The one thing I'm sitting here and I'm like, what you're sharing is really good, but I'm just thinking like the prodigal son is like a picture of Thanksgiving. When the son came back, the father threw a feast, right? Like he threw a party. It ticked off the other guy, his other son, right? Like he was mad that he threw the party for the one that just threw everything away. But I think in America, we have taken Thanksgiving and made it one day. But I think there should be many more days of Thanksgiving that we actually celebrate. And I think, what was it? We had an episode. It was when your brother comes to Christ.
Yeah.
What's next, right?
Yeah.
That should be a day of Thanksgiving. We should have a feast for that guy. We should have something more than a pat on the back and a hug after he got baptized. Like, yeah. I think that is the true meaning behind what Thanksgiving was supposed to be compared to what we do with it now, which is football and overeating.
Yeah. that maybe Thanksgiving should be not just a day, but a season. Or, I mean, all through the year, we should be celebrating Thanksgiving as it should be intended to be. The food just is a bonus. Sometimes you got to lure family in, and the only way to lure them in is with food and football. But the point of it is the stuff on top of the food and the football, and it's taking the time to be thankful and reflect. That's good. Easter could be a season of Thanksgiving. Christmas a season of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And every day in between that. I love it.
No, for sure. I think we've narrowed it down to like one day and overcomplicated it probably, but there should be multiple Thanksgivings in our lives, I feel.
Yeah.
Not just this one day, but this is a day that you're going to get your family together, and it's a day to sit and be thankful for your family and what you have. But I think you could carry that into other months in the year and things that happen in your life. And
yeah, that's good. Several challenges there through that. I think for me, while I am thankful for all the things in my life, I need to make sure that I'm giving thanks and making it be known that I am thankful that God has provided all those things for me, allowed those things into my life. It's not by my own doing, but these are the deeds that have lined up that God's provided for me that have come together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, keep your pride out of it, right?
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
It is God that has provided these things and allowed for us to have them and to do it. And we need to make sure that we are glorifying Him and not ourselves.
That's good. I love it. Challenges there. Challenge for you on top of that as we leave this episode. When you're at Thanksgiving, share the Two Fish podcast.
Ooh.
Share it. Hit this weekend. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Hit the 5-star. Whatever the buttons is, wherever you're listening to this, and then share the podcast because we want to get this message out. So help us to help you to help God to get the Two Fish podcast out to as many people as possible. So hit the share button. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will see you next time on the Two Fish podcast.